There we go. Yeah, I think you're the only one here right now. I think E3 might be going on or something, but oh well. I wasn't really going to watch that anyway, and I've been itching to play this for days. But I've committed to, you know, doing the full story playthrough on stream. So you asked what's new. They've added a couple new mobs to Act 1. They've also updated some of the character models and voiceovers. Nessa looks way better than she does in the live realm. Holy crap. There are some missing dialogue bits, like some of the things Tarkley has to say aren't there because they're still recording his new dialogue. I also found a tabula rasa somehow. Space for the flame dash. I do. Over here. Socketed Chaos Gems. Ooh, that's a 3-link. Yeah, I'm actually gonna bring that over. I don't know if I'm gonna wear the tabula right now. Doesn't turn anything off, which is good. Yeah, I'll put the tabula on. Why not? So some Garbodor.
What help I can offer is yours.
I don't think there's anybody you know in the cast for this. They put a lot of them are all right. Some of them put in really exceptional performances, but mostly it's just people I don't know. Let's see. So I finished Act 1, so we're on to Act 2, starting from here.
It's nice to see there's still some life in this twitching corpse of the continent.
God, I love that line from her. I don't know why that line in particular strikes me so much, but it's really good. So, other news, I'm currently at my buddy Sean's place, hanging out with him for the weekend, and taking the opportunity to stream, since he's taking a break from that for the weekend as well. I'm going to play Path for a couple hours today. Oh, you know what? Before I go any further, I'm going to head back to Lion Eye's Watch, and I'm going to grab Animate Weapon Totems, because I completely forgot to set that up. Part 1. Oh, that's their new descriptor for normal, cruel, and merciless. Because there's only one playthrough now. Michael Hurst, Aeolus from Hercules and Xena. Who is he in this game?
What little help I can offer is yours.
Okay, spell totem. Spell totem. Animate weapon. I need more decks. Alright.
Goodbye.
You know what? I only have a couple chromatics. Okay, we're gonna put the spell totem there. Can't use the animate weapon totems yet. I don't have a spot where I can grab dexterity. That's troubling. Oh, I suppose I could go over here. Yeah, I'll grab that. It'll take me a couple more turns to get life regen on my minions for my zombies, but... You need the dex, you need the dex. He plays as Zaro. Oh, I didn't know that guy was in Hercules. Zaro is one of the best voiceovers in the game. Like, seriously. It's incredible. Alright. Let's chromatic that, see if we get a green and a red. Probably not. Nope, it turned... Alright. Well, that was mildly counterproductive. I'll just throw it in there. Put my animate weapons there, and we'll figure out the spell totem later. Alright, now on with Act 2. Okay, I did start recording again. But yeah, it's probably not the best day to stream because, you know, E3, but I'll get my news elsewhere, and if anyone wants to show up and watch, they are welcome to show up and watch. I just cannot wait to play this game anymore. I spent all the last stream hyperventilating about it, pretty much. Oh, you know what? They've said that they plan to offer threshold jewels as rewards in, I think, Act 2, or maybe something you can get from vendors. It'd be interesting to see if that's implemented yet, because that would mean that I can get the unique jewels that I want to have in the build, and just like buy them and corrupt them en masse until I get what I want. That would be really interesting, especially with all the saved up currency I have in standard once this hits the live realm. Mostly I just want spirit guards for the ranged animate weapons, but having that as a reliable option for builds opens up a lot of possibilities. The other thing is that Act 2 is the first part of the game that has some major changes. They've changed how the bandit quest rewards work. You have to negotiate or kill with a bunch of bandits over the course of Act 2. And because you only do that once over the course of the game, you get a different reward now that does a bunch more things. They've dropped the extra charges that you get on Merciless, which disappoints me a little, but
I am Groost. I hunt boar, hunt to feed my people. You are not a friend to us. You'll need to run faster than boar. They fall from trees, try to swarm over you.
how's the audio in game, by the way?
Their chieftain, stand back when he beats his chest. Bark is worse than bite. Exiles.
Yeah, I don't like you too. I don't like you either, Groost.
And so your path leads you here, Exile. Be careful where you step. For as one foot leads the other, so too does each foot leave its mark. A trace of what was. A guide to what will be.
Oh yeah, no, the
See.
voice actors in this game bottom out at competent, and the performances they give are pretty great.
I have seen many an exile come and go.
You'll have to forgive the noise
of
of the outside, by the way. It is ridiculously hot.
Different somehow. Different good.
We've got the windows open.
Bad, it's hard to tell at this stage. The name is Eramir, and for now you have the benefit of my doubt. Those bandits you've encountered out there, they're the dregs of Oriath. And with any foul broth, the nastiest chunks bubble to the surface. The lords of Larceny, Oak, Creighton, and Alira, the self-appointed monarchs of the forest, Creighton in the east, Alira in the west, Oak in the north, and this village, this tribe, we pay their taxes.
I'm always up
I would
for
never
striking
venture
down
to
tax
say that
collectors.
life in Rayclust is easy, but with those three gone, well, living here might just become possible.
I'm going to listen to a lot of the dialogue, by the way, both because this is a way to show off the story of the game, and because I want to see
Asmiri.
any new recordings.
The culture that descended from the Asmirian mountains and founded the Eternal Empire so long ago. Not that these people have any understanding of their lineage. Their history, identity, all but destroyed in the Cataclysm. These Asmiri took in a
those are
disowned son
tattoos.
of Oriath, fed me, healed me. To repay my debt, I've taken in the orphans of a dead empire.
I never noticed those were tattoos. I never noticed he had tattoos at all.
Greetings. Grust is the strong right arm of this tribe. No man hunts better, and no man could do more to protect the ones he loves. I've read about Chevron of Umbra and what she did to the Warden at Axiom. You did well to end Brutus's sorry existence. But Chevron's barricade, that's sad news indeed. There is little enough freedom in Rayclust as it is, but to be stranded on that dismal coast, I pity the exiles to come. Would I know how to lower the barricade? Afraid not. I was a bit distracted the last time I took the pass. Hungry goatmen to avoid on that side, Alira's thralls on this side.
It's also been quite a
You
while
and me, we are the same.
since I've listened to all
Dream big,
this.
We find new places. We do not tell stories. Stories are told about us. I learn the words, the ways of Oriath. You listen to me, and not pigheads like Grust. Then you will live to find more new places. The road? It runs east and west of here. To the west it passes the bandit woman's camp, then turns south to the sea. But you say it is now blocked? I have seen a strange thing in the rock by the South Pass, like one of Grust's
Take a
carvings,
breath, dude.
but of stone. You should go look at it. What has been closed might be opened again.
Okay, actually, he is breathing quite a bit. Maybe don't force the air out of your lungs so hard.
Many exiles come this way. Irimir is not like them, not like you. He is an old man with many stories. He teaches us words that you can understand. He teaches we Asmiri to be strong, not in our arms and legs like Grust, strong in our heads. Grust is the big man in the tribe. All do what Grust says, but his spear goes limp when faced with the 8 legs.
Don't worry.
I
There's only
slay
one
the
NPC
great
left.
8 legs. Why should I fear a bandit?
I am Yena, keeper of the spirit. Are you a kind exile, like Eramir? He is good to us, helps us. You will stay and help us too, yes? A beast hunts us in her dreams, a great white beast, tortured and maddened by bad men, a long time
I think
gone.
that's still the original Yena model.
She will come here one night to tear, crush, and eat. Her pain tells her to. Find the white beast and end her pain before she shares it with us.
It's always interesting hearing New Zealand accented actors do other accents. There's a Power Ranger season in the ones filmed there where one attempts to do a Scottish accent. It is something to behold.
Eramir was a wise
That
man
actually
in
sounds
Oria.
fascinating.
He is our wise man now. Hear him. You will learn much. If you do not hear, you will likely die. Silk knows more than others think. He watches. He learns. Look between the words, and you'll see the truth in Silk's stories.
Man, she just blasts him out like that.
Grust does what he thinks is right, and in Grust's dream, he is never wrong. The forest children are ill. Once they drank from fruit, ate nuts and berries. Now they drink blood, eat brain and heart. This land is in a nightmare from which it cannot wake.
How be you, exile? I like Yena. She thinks bigger than this place. She knows there is more to life than hunting and growing morka. There is spirit. Her fur, her skin reminds me of biting winter. I call her Snow Fiend. I saw her one night, followed her to a cave in the old fields to the east. Listened to her howl at the stars. A sad, sad sound. The beast is hurt inside.
I wonder if they've updated the bear models like they did the Hellions. They haven't updated the
Hello.
Roas yet, so I don't know.
We are Asmeri. You are not. Eramir is not. Life was good when it was just Asmeri. Yina thinks she knows the spirit, that it talks to her. She talks to herself.
Listen, there's enough weird shit on Rayclast. You really shouldn't be skeptical, dude.
Silk is no hunter. Silk scares children with stories at fire time. That 8 leg he wears, he did not kill it. Found it in the forest there of age. I would like to see Silk face live 8 leg one day. See him wrapped up for lunch.
Honestly, Power Rangers acting is interesting to track because it really does depend on the strength of the material. Is there strong material? Don't answer that. I know you like Power Rangers. Stuff like Time Force and RPM have some of the best ensembles because the material is better than average even with goofy superheroes.
This is our home. We hunt, we grow, we build.
I mean, as long as it commits to the premise.
Your kind in the forest kill, steal, and burn.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Soon they will take it all, leave us no food. Then we must move. Leave our home.
Exiles.
Big heart, little sense. Yina
Tom, why do you
dabbles
keep
in
logging in and
things
out?
she should not. That altar, for instance, I try to warn her, but pretty as a fox, stubborn as an ox.
And Silk, what do you got to say about
Tales
him?
and songs are Silk's meat and drink. Would have made a fine bard in the old empire. Were a fraction of what he says true, we'd have nothing to fear from bandit nor beast, with Silk among us.
There's always a little bit of truth in the shit Silk rambles about, but he's a liar and a braggart. Best to take him with a couple shakes of salt, if you know what I mean. This is level 14. They haven't updated the models for the apes either kind. Oh, what are you? A scarecrow? You're new. Oh, that's a new mob. Didn't get much of a chance to look at it before I killed it. Huh. Interesting. Oh, there's a live one. Hi there, friend. Ow. Rude. Looks like they just have the zombie animation skeleton, but it's still really cool new. Maybe they have the skeleton animation skeleton. One or the other. Still, cool new enemy. Makes 2 entirely new ones that I've seen so far. Well, I guess 1.5, since it's really just using the skeleton animation. It's just a cool new look for it. The one completely brand new enemy I faced is the Bone Wheels, which is really cool to see them actually show up in Act 1. I thought those were going to be an Act 6 thing. Alright, where is the den? They have not fixed the bears. That's a shame. The bears look really wonky. Alright, where's the den? Shame I can't get specters until way after these guys start showing up. They're my favorite specters to use. On this build, anyway. I really should do, like, a dedicated specter build someday. Apparently they're really good. Or really fun. If you invest heavily in them, you can do interesting things. But mostly I just like playing a full Zoo Summoner. So, it's also... The Zoo Summoner is also one of the things that requires the least investment of currency. Like, you can play it just by grabbing the gems. The uniques that add to it are mostly optional. Like, a +1 zombies talisman is one thing. Oh, there's the den. In fact, you really can't get that anymore. Let me... Okay, I've already got the shadow quality set to low. How's the frame rate of the video? I want to make sure it's not freaking out on me. Let's see how fast my zombies die at this point. Oh, you know, I didn't notice it until it was against a darker background, but the walkable area on the new minimap is actually a brighter color than the stuff that isn't. That makes it way easier to read. God, this new minimap is so satisfying to fill in. Okay, still the same old spider models. Yeah, those models are from like 2012. It's really a shame that they haven't gotten updated yet, but I imagine they will, because the whole game's getting a graphical overhaul pretty much. Game had its official release in 2013, so it's been a... Ooh, this is new. What are you? The hell? Okay, that's brand new, and I can't do anything with it. Interesting. Okay, so that's a table or an altar or something. What the hell is this? It's a dedicated feature of the area. That's fun. Yeah, this game's been out for a while. Really does say something that it's still the premier ARPG. It did have a shaky period back in like 2014, but even then, I loved it. There were huge desync problems between the game and the server, and when they released 2.0, they basically fixed it entirely. The new predictive mode I say new, it's been out for 2 years. The predictive mode is incredibly effective now. Yeah, they didn't update her model at all. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm just gonna book it. Wonder if they've added even more environment lore. I mean, like to the early game. Oh yeah. I gotta expend that ring of shield or amulet. It gains resistances. That is not a prophecy you want hanging around for a while. Kind of useless, to be honest. But a good one to get early game. The problem with prophecies is that they made them so rare, the silver coins are now so rare, that using them before you hit endgame is kind of worthless. So it's best to save them till the end of the game when you can get the best prophecies.
I haven't slept. No one has slept. Not for 3 days, not since the black storm in the northern ranges. Not since the nightmares began. Violent and twisted night terrors. They whisper to us, tempt us, threaten us, beguile us. They promise terrible things in return for even more terrible acts. My husband, Daenerys, went to Alliston to find a doctor who might help. He should have been back yesterday. I fear for him. I fear for all of us.
Alright, let's grab the other one.
It has been a little over a week since the Black Storm. My husband has not returned, and sickness now sweeps through our village. Many have died, and those who have lived have changed.
It is time to bring him.
Oh, I cut off the dialogue. Oh, whatever. I'll just go do the Haku quest. I don't know why I'm picking up leather belts like I'm going to sell them. It's a beta. There's not really going to be an economy. Man, it really is a shame that they're not adding League Stones to the game. That was so much fun. Added so much variety and customizability to the game and your experience. Letting you experience old content. It also made talismans available again, which is always useful because there's some really interesting niche stuff there. I'll take the +1 zombies talisman forever, thank you. I guess the complaints about how unwieldy they were to use were part of it, but maybe they just decided they didn't want all that stuff active all the time, or maybe they thought it interfered with Zana too much. Either way, it's a crying shame. I liked it a lot. One of the most fun leagues we've ever had. Get out of my way, please. Excuse me. Chat's being weird connection-wise, which is why you're being quiet. Yeah, I don't know why you always have problems connecting to Twitch, man. It's really weird, and a shame that it's so consistent.
As you honor the ancestors, you honor yourself.
Okay, where are the 7 undead brutes? Let's also grab the waypoint. That'd probably be helpful. Yeah, I'll be coming back through here a couple times. Plenty of time to find it. It's not even your usual issue. What do you mean? What's going on? Sorry, you just keep getting a "sorry, we're unable to connect to chat," reconnecting in 2 seconds message. Oh, that's the last one. We'll come here. We'll come here last. Go get that so it's happening while we're fighting.
The moon was full the night of the Black Storm. It is full again. They have come for me. They have come for my daughters. Bravalo called out while the others skulked and muttered in the darkness. Corin went to them, arms open, welcoming. The nightmares told her to. My uncle tried to stop her. Bravalo crushed his skull with his smith's hammer. I barred the doors and windows, but they screamed like monkeys and beat themselves bloody trying to get in. I had no choice. I took my two youngest and fled through the cellar, following the tunnel to the mill. All we can do is hide and hope. God help us.
This, by the way, is describing, I believe, soon after the Cataclysm, when the nightmare beasts of Rayclast woke up and the dead began to rise.
3 Lunari gone now since it all began. Perhaps I am the only one who still looks upon Lunaris, who remembers her name. Soon, I will be gone, and the moon will go on alone. My husband has returned, and he hunts for me. My dead husband hunts me. Corin, too, and my uncle. Corpses rise and walk and feed. My girls, they walk now, and feed. God has forsaken us. Lunaris is my witness. Tonight, I return to my family.
Yeah, if you really wanted to see the difference between Diablo 3 voice acting and this game's voice acting, that is the set of things you want to listen to, because, oh my god. Whoever that lady was put in an incredible performance, and she got like 4 paragraphs. Really is a shame that apparently the new Mummy movie is really bad and not even fun bad. That's a shame. Muffled sound of Brendan Fraser laughing in the distance. Yeah, it is weird. Diablo 3 is an amazing cast on paper, and maybe the direction was bad, maybe the material was bad, maybe they just weren't into it because it was bad. It was the World of Warcraft team who made Diablo 3 to begin with, so there's that. And Path of Exile is full of like minor people or people who you haven't heard of outside of New Zealand, maybe 1 or 2 notable names. No offense to the cast. Just saying, like, not super famous people. And they put in incredible performances like the one you just listened to, right? Like, wasn't that amazing? The quality of this game for... I mean, completely aside that it's technically an infinite ratio because the game is free. The quality of this game compared to what you have to do to get it, or even compared to like what you have to do to get the cosmetics and the various things that you do pay for, is ludicrous. This game, gameplay-wise and acting-wise, outshines its AAA counterpart. Ow, shit. Yeah, I didn't get out of there fast enough. Whoops. This is why I play on software. Because I don't care about the hardcore experience. I am impressed with the people who can manage it. Not for me. I'll probably do hardcore at some point, just, you know, to get some streams out of it, but I mostly like playing it. I googled the Diablo 3 credits, and apparently the voice director for that is the one they usually have at Blizzard, credited for the voice direction on Overwatch. Maybe the latter is just better in its goofiness. Yeah, I mean, if the tone of your thing is lighthearted and goofy, the performances that you got out of Diablo 3 are just fine, but they're not good for the tone of a Diablo game, or even for what's going on. And it's very obviously the Warcraft, everyone is vaguely British. Everyone in old-timey times was vaguely British-sounding sort of voice direction in Diablo 3. And it's really sad because it wasn't there in Diablo 2. And everything in the towns in Diablo 2 was really memorable too. Like there's weird people and interesting people and people who are just there to add a little bit of flavor to the town. And Diablo 3 has that too, but they're also overblown and overdramatic. All right, Creighton, what you got to say to me now?
You're trouble. I like that. Now what I don't like, Oaken and Lyra and their thieving mongrels. They keep taking what's mine. I'm thinking you could do something about that. What's in it for you? The amulets around Oaken and Lyra's necks. The ones like mine here. There's power in them beyond reckoning. Take 2 heads and 2 amulets. Bring them to me.
Whoops. If you help Creighton, you will be permanently granted 6% increased attack and cast speed, 3% chance to dodge attacks, and 6% increased movement speed. I want to see him from the front. Oh, wow, that is a hell of a scar on your face, dude. I never noticed that before, because usually I just kill you and move on. I'm going to kill you and move on, but interesting. Right, let's get some Zambos to draw a little aggro for me. Life regen. Alright, Creighton.
It's kind of disappointing, really. I usually like rats.
Well, at least now I've got some regen on my minions. Oh, cosmetics are fixed from what I've heard. No microtransactions to display. Click below to buy some from our shop. Themes? What? Themes? Okay, my MTX were supposed to carry over. Why haven't they?
I have seen warriors in black in the east. They are from your Oriath. Better fed...
Whoops.
I have seen warriors in black in the east. They are from your Oriath. Better fed, better armed than you, Exile. Oriath did not want you, so why does it follow you here? You will understand what you see more than I. Go east and find these warriors in black. If there is danger to us, I need to learn of it.
Microtransactions, Scarecord. This is the most ethical microtransaction system in gaming history, as far as I'm concerned. Nothing you can buy helps you gameplay-wise. You can get storage space and more character slots, and guild storage space, and cosmetics, and that's it. Nothing gives you a gameplay advantage.
Rocks and water. They move and live like monkey and viper. They die like monkey and viper too. There is no heart to see, but there is a heart to stab, if you can find it with your spear.
Okay, extra life and a couple of resists. Ooh, plus 2% additional chance to block against projectiles. That's a new mod. Yeah, I think I'll use that for the moment.
Unclean. Do not eat of the trees surrounding the Chamber of Sins. Do not drink of the water, and do not rest. The beasts there look weak, born badly. They are faster, stronger than they seem. Going?
Ethical microtransactions, what a concept. I'm not kidding. The stuff you can buy in this game is entirely in keeping with that principle. I'm just going to sell this.
Hello. What?
I'm not going to be doing
Travel far.
Nemesis maps.
Greetings. The scarred one is no more. I wish I could say that this bodes well for us. But with Creighton gone, Oak and Alira will only grow stronger.
I mean, I'm not done with them. I'm gonna kill them too, dude. Calm down.
The High Templar's blackguards? They're here, rubbing shoulders with us mere exiles? A mystery indeed, and so near the Chamber of Sins. Whatever they want with that foul place, it won't be for the betterment of humanity.
Oh, buddy, you have no idea.
It is a new day. Snow Fiend is dead? Then the beast's name is now your name. We make a tale, a song to sing. Snow Fiend and the wise teacher, 8 legs. Many will be impressed, yes?
I don't like this guy's voice
We
performance.
should catch one, a blackguard. Make him tell us what he is doing here. Then hang his head on a tree. Tell the blackguards that the Asmirian exiles fight together. You and me, we will make them run back to the sea.
Alright, Ina, what you got for me?
The white beast's spirit is at rest. No more pain. Take this in thanks from me, and from the suffering animal that you have helped.
Do I want to know? I don't really need the mana flask. I'll take the quicksilver.
There is land that has forgotten the spirit. Some man told the rocks and water a different dream. Now the rocks and water think they are man.
Dream big, live big.
Hello.
Right. It does bother me that my microtransactions aren't available, but, you know, oh well. I wanted to use my pets. Still Caliph. No real upgrades to his model. I need a red and a green linked socket. I'd really like that, please. You know what? Maybe Groost has one for sale. Let's take a look.
What do you want?
Shut up, Groost. I'm here to buy. Hey, there we go. And it's better than what I have. Yeah, awesome.
Return if you must.
Hello.
In the annals of New Zealand actors slipping in others, though, my favorite tends to be Lucy Lawless because her neutral accent is usually really fun and badass, but every so often that New Zealandness will poke through. I didn't know she was from New Zealand. Was that a New Zealand show? Is that why there's New Zealand people?
Wreathed in blue sinew, it is protected from the flames, the storms, and the snow alike.
Let's add another mod. Reduce cold damage to attacks. Well, I'll take the resist, whatever. Where? There. Spell totem. Animute weapon.
Make it fast.
They should be telling me Kevin Sorbo's from New Zealand. Hercules and Xena were both filmed in New Zealand for their whole runs. I did not know that. The big American actors were people like Sorbo, Bruce Campbell was in Hercules and Xena. That I didn't know. I haven't watched any of that show in like 20 years, and I don't remember much about what I did watch. I remember Medusa lady who turned people to stone by stabbing them with her snake tail.
I could learn a thing or two.
I remember a couple other things, a couple cheesy fight scenes, but that's about it. There, finally dead. We're actually going to check out the center of the Chamber of Sins, because I think there's something new there. Here we go. Oh, no, I'm blocked. Alright. Cannot get over this new map. There, now your annoyance is ended. This was Autolycus, the King of Thieves, an oft-recurring character. That's awesome. I mean, I've only really seen him in a couple things, I think. This is the Bruce Campbell who played Ash from Evil Dead, right? That's really cool. Oh, the waypoint's here now. Okay.
Inquisitor. If you attempt to transmogrify a virtue gem without the proper mental preparation, you will be a puppet master working strings made of vipers. Remember, these gems are phantasms in crystalline form, alive, with volitions inscrutable. Master conscious dreaming, as I instructed you. Your death would mean little to me, Malagaro. It's what your demise could unleash that concerns me. Malachi.
Bruce has been in every corner of Hollywood and has a million stories about being a proud B actor. Okay, I thought there was something new. There's a missing boss here. Okay. So the Black Death isn't hanging around here. That's weird. I thought something was off. Not just that there's a waypoint there. I guess they moved that spider elsewhere in the level? Damage, physical damage, crit chance, max mana. I actually don't need that at all. But I'm going to put it on anyway. Why not? Please go down. Thank you. Alright, where's that? Ooh, stairs. Oh, this is new. I don't remember this area layout before. My favorite is his story about cameoing to die in Congo and why he took it. They were basically paying me to go on vacation in the most beautiful places in the world. I would have been crazy to say no. Okay, this is neat. This is a new area piece. It's just neat environment stuff, but still, that's cool. Oh, and there's the way down. They show that a little too soon, I think. It means there's less exploration to do, but oh well. Alright, so there's a Trial of Ascendancy around here. Let's go find it. Oh, it's good not to have to constantly resummon my zombies. So, I don't know. Have you been to a Path of Exile stream before, FD? Oh, it feels weird just leaving that leather belt behind. Because I don't know how much context you have with this game. I've ranted about it at length in various streams and on the server. I'm incredibly evangelical about this game, but I don't know how much I've actually said to you.
The path to justice is slender and perfidious, fraught with missteps of ambition and despair, egotism and doubt. Should you choose this road, beware those who would waylay your hopes and disembowel your dreams. Remain sure and remain true.
You think once, maybe. Well, in that case, feel free to ask questions about the game, man. I don't know what knowledge you have and what you don't. And to be honest, it gives me something to talk about. It'd be cool to show off my knowledge of the game as well, I guess. I'm not exactly the greatest expert of this game that's ever played, but I know quite a bit. I don't know why they put those switches there. They're kind of useless. Maybe they're just to demonstrate switches? You'd think they'd be required, though. Mostly just along for the ride, yeah. That's fair enough.
There is a fine line between consideration and hesitation. The former is wisdom, the latter is fear.
That's Izaro, by the way, talking to me there. So you're already getting to listen to one of the better voice performances in the game. God, that woman in the crossroads, though. There's very little in this game that I've heard that really stands up to the emotion she put into it. Seems very D&D aesthetically / in terms of story. Kind of? Certainly more so than Diablo 3 was. The thing about this game is that it's a fantasy story and it's a horror story, yes, but at its heart, it's actually a cosmic horror story. Very Lovecraftian. There's a cataclysm that happened as the denizens of Rayclast a long, long time ago tried to draw upon an ancient eldritch demon god for power, and everyone on the continent went insane, pretty much, or at least everybody who had the gems that I'm using went insane. Like 80% of the monsters that you fight in this game are the result of that one event. But the disasters then are not the only awful thing that's happened to Rayclast. Adziri, the Queen of the Vale, one of the really old civilizations, sacrificed very, very large portions of her citizenry to make herself into an immortal demon, who is actually one of the bonus bosses in the game, and in fine ARPG tradition, very prominently has a set of quad boobs. And Dariel had him, and Adziri has him. And we had one in Diablo 3 as well, who is not so much fun to look at. Greed. Don't look up pictures. Yeah, her sounds great. He's one of the more striking vocal performances in the game. Once I get to the end game maps, you'll hear one of the others, the guy who voices the Shaper. All right. Ooh.
Failure stings, sister. Yet pain is the finest of all teachers.
That thing! It slaughtered everyone! Help me!
All right, let's kill Fidelitas. God, that's an ugly thing. Fuck you, Malagaro. I know he volunteered for it, but come on. Why would you do that to your boyfriend?
I bequeath this transmuter device to you, Inquisitor Malagaro, in recognition of your devotion to our sublime art. May it be the chariot that conveys your dreams into reality. Malachi, Thaumaturge Laureate to the Empire.
Yeah, I haven't actually run into any corrupt Veil side areas yet, which is kind of odd.
Piety was after a creation of Malagaro's called the Baleful Gem. It's nearby and it's something that heartless bitch must never get her hands on. You have it already. Thank innocence. All right, take it to the Esmeri village by the river. I'll meet you there, for my days with the Ebony Legion are done. Piety was after...
Alright. I keep trying to hit T to teleport to town. I've been playing too much Diablo 3. There are spider monsters in this, and I apologize in advance. Let's get a prophecy.
Let me tell your future. The kind gem cutter scattered his beautiful craft for the paupers, but greedy hands hide them.
The Oriathan girl, she is alive. She wants to stay with us, not to go back to her people. I say we take her traitor's heart to the chief. Ask that the warriors in black leave us be. I sleep less, but no more, thanks to you. Helena gave me these. Use it, or cast it away. I do not care. I have no time for Helena's breed of peace.
I wonder if we get to fight him later. Arctic Armor, Desecrate, Herald of Ice, Herald of Thunder. I'm going to go with Arctic Armor, thank you very much. Arctic Armor.
I have no use for Helena's kind of peace.
Yeah, you already said that, buddy.
Hello.
Let's see. Nope, not worth dropping what I've got. We've already passed by a bunch of spiders that you haven't noticed, so I'm not going to call them out as I fight them. I guess it's a good thing I didn't fight the Black Death.
The day has dawned. You did it. You captured the blackguard. But her head is too pretty to put in a tree.
Yeah, this guy tries way too hard.
When she's well, I will ask her for blackguard's secrets. Do not fear. She will do this. Females like to do things for silk.
Well, what am I, chopped liver? I guess I'm wearing a mask and you don't really want to mess with somebody who wears that. I guess I wouldn't either.
I gave the Ebony Legion my faith and my loyalty, and it offered me nothing but fear and death in return. Thank you for freeing me from both. I have nothing to give you but my gratitude and my knowledge. I know you have no use for the former, so let's hope the latter makes up for it. Piety led us into that wretched place in the hopes of finding a device named simply the Spike. Fashioned by Inquisitor Malagaro,
who was an asshole.
It was said to enable the injection of Calibric Extantia into living flesh. Calibric Extantia being the corrupt energies locked within virtue gems. We couldn't find the Spike, yet we met its most successful application.
Fidelitas.
According to his notes, the baleful gem was a byproduct of Malagaro's attempts to enhance the already formidable qualities of virtue gems. It was an abject failure, yet Malagaro wasn't one to waste his atrocities. By combining the baleful gem with the venom extracted from one of his arachnid subjects, he brewed something called Black Elixir. He proudly proclaimed it to be the most potent poison in existence,
I don't remember
until
this.
It was stolen by a man named Victario. It was rather entertaining to read Malagaro's intentions for Victario once he caught the man. Twisted, yet I can't fault the Inquisitor's creativity.
I think some of this is new dialogue.
Malagaro had an assistant, a man named Raulo. If Malagaro's records spoke truly, Raulo offered himself freely as a test subject. With the spike, Malagaro injected Raulo with a high dose of Calibric Extantia, thus gifting the poor man with both endless life and horrific deformity. In honor of his sacrifice to Malagaro's work, the Inquisitor gave Raulo a new name, Fidelitas.
Fidelitis. Wow, I was mispronouncing that horribly.
I thought Dominus was a leader of vision, of purpose. The man who would resurrect the eternal empire. In truth, Dominus is only after power. The black thaumaturgical power locked within the virtue gems. He wishes to create a new empire, one in his own image. I drank every night to try and wipe that image from my mind. It's still there.
Huh, I wonder if he wears the mask for a reason. I thought it was just like a mask of office or
Our
something.
expedition made camp in the western forest while Piety took a few men through the pass to Axiom prison. She was after the research notes of one Chevron of Umbra, a witch who devoted herself to the study of transfiguration during the latter days of the Eternal Empire. Piety returned alone and disturbingly happy with her findings. I've learnt that when Piety is happy, misery is soon to follow for everyone else. Journey well.
The spirit is strong in Fellshrine. You touch the stones, you will feel it. They spoke to me, those stones. Told me to take their altar, and to find the hand of a good man. He lived in that church, as you call it. The altar is his, and it will wake when he touches it once more. You could find the good man. Bring me his hand. When the spirit of the altar awakes, I will share it with you. I promise. Helena is healing. I make sure of that. But you want to know if you can trust her. I see her spirit. It was born good and needs work to keep it that way. Much like yours.
I'll take the little bit of an extra int. Ooh, extra cast speed, thank you.
I went into the Eight-Leg Forest, in the southwest, met the mother of the Eight-Legs. We fought. I stuck my spear in her eye. It is still there. Irimir said to leave it there, that my spear is a thing made for dark science, whatever that be. But no, I want it back. Mother Eight-Legs would smell me from far off. She doesn't know your smell. Could you go and get my spear from her?
There's always a little bit of truth in the stuff that Silk says.
What
Malagaro's
would you like
spike.
to know, Exile?
He had to do a lot of work to get it. He probably went into the
I have spoken
Chamber of
with
Sins for it.
Helena of Dominus and his expedition. It all sounds horribly plausible. Whether we can fully trust what she tells us, time will tell if her torn loyalties are to mend in our favor. Show me this gem from the Chamber of Sins. It has the aspect of a virtue gem like those you carry already. Yet it's clearly not made to slot into any of your standard equipment. Look at the color. Feel the energy coming off it. Malagaro had little virtue in mind when he made this thing. Could be the nasty piece of work Silk picked up near the Chamber of Sins.
He says
too much
near,
like
but
Malagaro's dark science to me.
I really think it would have been in the chamber.
Giving it to you. Do history a favor and sink that spike to the bottom of the river.
What? Silk has the mind of a blood monkey. That spear stinks of sickness. And you are a monkey too if you believe his story. Stuck in a mother Eight-Leg? More like he dropped it when he ran away from baby Eight-Leg.
Yeah, we're going to a spider forest a little later. I will warn you when we do, so you can look away. Ow. The instance expired. Alright, whatever. Another silver coin, cool. Yeah, let's just move on. Tefel Shrine. Oh right, I got a Rasmus gift. Man, the new fog effects really do look great. I wonder what they're going to do with the prophecies that refer to these early areas. Maybe they'll take the suggestion that I and others have made and make it so that you can do some of the ones where you kill a boss in maps that have that boss in them. I hope that's what they go with. But it would be interesting to see if prophecies start modifying area levels to make them more palatable to a late game experience. Because this area is level 16. It's not like Diablo 3. The area doesn't scale with you. The area is set, which means that you can be overwhelmed by an area, or you can steamroll through it if you've gotten powerful enough. It's a good system. It's not a perfect system. I like it better than the Diablo 3 system, but I like most things better than the Diablo 3 system, so let's not... I won't harp on that too much longer. But... it does lead to some interesting problems. The ARPG conventions before Diablo 3 came out were that you played through the game, which was generally 3 or 4 acts long, and there were 3 difficulties. Normal, whatever the second one was. In Diablo 2 it was Nightmare, in Path of Exile it was Cruel. And then the third difficulty, which was Merciless in Path and Hell in Diablo 2. You play through the game again against harder enemies at higher area levels with new mods and new things.
On this day, the second Sacrato of Verusi, 1334 IC, the Army of Purity remembers its most devout and beloved servant, Archbishop Geoffrey of Frisia. As spoken by Geoffrey, only will and truth can prevail over the evil of our own king.
The kind gem cutter
High Templar
scattered his
Vol,
beautiful...
commander of the Army of Purity.
What Path is doing is... Diablo 3 has one playthrough, and it scales the area level to your level, which leads to some interesting things where you level up at an extremely rapid pace. I was carrying Sean through Act 1 at like the 3rd difficulty level out of 17, and he was level 40 out of 70 before we left Act 1. It was ridiculous. Ridiculous and kind of pathetic. But this game is built around the 3 playthroughs, but now they're removing the extra playthroughs and just replacing it with one single 10-act playthrough. One story playthrough, which means that... oh, there are spiders in here, by the way. Not many, and I'm going to blow through this area pretty quick, but I figured I should warn you. But it means they're going to have to restructure some things that are built around the difficulties. For example, prophecies and other things that care about what difficulty you do it in. We've already seen the change to the bandit rewards. I'm really interested to see what they do with the prophecies, because there are things that people already complain about having to go back to something that's area level 60 or 65 to do quests for prophecies. I can't imagine how they complain about having to go back to an area level 12. Hey, Ironside. Things are going pretty well. I'm getting to play the new Path of Exile beta, which is really exciting, because we've been looking forward to this for a while. Other than that, released the 6th episode of my movie commentary series this morning. We did Alien. Hopefully we get some views off of that. And yeah, hanging out with my buddy Sean. How about you? How have you been? I don't know whether it would be cathartic for you to watch me murder the spiders, but again, they're here. So be warned. Be warned, FD. think this is the way. Yes, it is. Yeah, I've seen you in the chat in a few of my recent streams. I always appreciate having you here, man.
Fear gnaws at the entrails of the faithful and the faithless alike. Fear of the unknown, fear of the future. An empire requires leadership that can assuage those fears through example, through wisdom, through strength. An emperor lights the way through the darkened caverns of uncertainty.
Sailor ghosts here. That's weird. I don't remember sailor ghosts ever being part of the enemies in this area. Sounds good. You've been pretty good prepping for GP Vegas. Are you going to GP Vegas? For Magic, right? Oh, I forgot to equip Arctic armor. I probably should do that, huh?
Shine boldly, so that all may find you when the night falls.
Alright, let's find the way down. Man, the last major Magic event I went to was in 2012. God, it's been a while. I really wish I could afford to get back into that game, but I've got so much other stuff going on right now. You and some friends are heading out. That's awesome. So, what's the event at GP Vegas? I mean, the Legacy and Modern made events. Nice. I still have my Red Deck Wins deck from a few years back. I really should tune it up. It's already fairly Legacy viable, but... yeah, Magic takes up so much of your life if you let it. Ooh, is that a Veilside area? I think it is. Yes, it is. Awesome. It's a triple header, so there's also a limited event. I wish I'd gotten to draft more too. Like, I wish I'd gotten more. I wish I could have afforded to go to events constantly. There's still stuff in the area that I can do, but I don't have regular transportation to it. So, Legacy and Modern, what are you running in each event? I don't even know what I would want to play in Modern these days. Elf Wave, maybe, if I could make it work. It's probably not competitive right now. You're playing Blue-Red Delver and Legacy, basically Burn, but with Force of Will and Brainstorm. That's about the size of Delver. God, Delver Standard was hellish too. Modern, you're running ad nauseum. So, I'm sorry, I thought you were going to play Magic. It's kind of the exact opposite, my friend. Yeah, let's get minion instability next. Alright, looks like it's Shrapnel Bearer. Oh, I can't remember the last time I took a trip down here and found a Veilside area. And a Fairgraves Tricorn. Alright. Fair enough. Veil Arc. That was not what I wanted. Oh, I should have seen if they'd added voice work to the Veil letter there. I am playing Magic. It'll be great. I'll draw my deck and my opponent will fall over. Impressed with how well I'm doing. Is this Ad Nauseam Tendrils or one of the other variants? I think there are other variants anyway. Oh, no, wait. You said modern. Ad Nauseam Grape Shot? Some storm something. I'm mostly only familiar with the Legacy version of the deck. I guess it would have to be red-black if you're gonna be running mana converters. But I don't know if that's the version of the deck that gets run in Modern. Alright, back to Yina. Ad Nauseam Modern aims to draw its whole deck with Angel's Grace or Phyrexian Unlife. Oh. Oh, that's the variant. Okay. And then Lab Maniac, I assume. Alright, what we got? Mana Regenerate and some Resists. Okay. A bit of life and mana. I'll take that instead. Tricorn. Fairgrave's Tricorn. Something for attacks. Not useful for me. Okay, Scholar's Robe. That's actually more useful than the Tabula at the moment because it has the stuff I need. So I guess we'll go with it and we'll hold on to the Tabula in the unique stash. Uniques. Tabula, Fairgrave. Then make mana with Simian Spirit Guides to cast a Lightning Storm, which you can discard lands to make lethal. Oh, right! Right, Lightning Storm is like 3 mana, 3 damage, but you can discard lands to add damage to it, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't remember entirely. Let's see, Dex, Rarity items, and Lightning Res. Nah. Why did I pick that up? That's weird.
What? Return if you must.
Dupe. And dupe. And currency. Let's get a couple prophecies.
Hello. A fearsome foe's inner torment spills out into the world.
Lab Maniac is an alternate win con, but can't be done on your opponent's end step and takes a little more mana. Yeah.
What was one is now two. The strong find greater strength in numbers.
The Fell Shrine is a shadow of what was once good in Wraeclast. That sigil etched into its stones, it's a descry from when the Templar truly stood for something. To the ancestors of Ariath, the descry was a flickering torch in the night, a source of inspiration and comfort. Sad thing about torches, they go out.
My one major complaint about some of the voice direction in this game is that people pause constantly. But it's not noticeable with most of them.
You are Dream Tender.
Excuse me.
My new name for you. Badness is everywhere around us. You bring us something good. Now, I promise to share. Let us awaken the spirit. Bring even more good into this life.
Okay, survival skills, survival instincts. Yeah, I'll go with instincts. None of them are particularly useful for this build, but what you gonna do? what you gonna do when they come for you,
Hello.
bad boys, etc.
If Silk's story of the Mother of Eight Legs is true, then you should go get the spear from her. The creatures near the Chamber of Sins have suffered from a twisting of their spirits. They are sick and angry. If this happens to the Eight Legs, we will all suffer from their fever.
Let's get our murder on.
Greetings, Exile.
Very exciting, though. First major legacy event I've played, and first major modern event with ad nauseum. Not to mention, I'm sure Vegas will be an exciting place to visit as well. If you can, get there at night. That's my advice. If you can, enter the city at night. All right, so we're done with the east. Off to the west, into my least favorite area in the entire game, the riverways. Please let them have changed this. Oh, right, that only gives me one more Spectre. I am the dumb. We're done with spiders for a little while, Lefty. I'll warn you when we're coming back up on them. Aside from the scarecrows, I haven't seen any new monsters in this act. And the scarecrows weren't like the bone wheels. The bone wheels were pretty neat. I guess maybe the bone wheels are like the Roas, but they have a sufficiently different look to them that it's not obvious unless you're looking at the way their animation skeleton moves, but or the way their attacks function, I should say. I think they do shield charge or something. I'd have to go stand in front of them again to see. The scarecrows, though, are just a new look pasted on a skeleton. You have super ADD, so you bounce between combos anyway. That's fine, man. Give me that shrine. Yeah, I've been to Vegas once, but cresting the mountain above it and seeing the city laid out in the dark is one of the things that's stuck with me for more than half of my life. Is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Vegas is, I mean, there are naughty billboards everywhere, but Vegas is an incredible place to just go and gawk. And not just at the naughty billboards, at everything. It's a fascinating city. Or at least it was when I was 13. Maybe it's a myth now, and everybody who goes there is treated as hallucinogens to pretend it still exists. God, I really was last there when I was 13. That feels weird to realize. Alright, back to Spider Town. I thought that was going to take me longer. I guess they've shortened the riverways? Thank Christ. Alright, we got 3 things to do here. Ooh.
We, the Court of Reckoning, find you, Doedri Stamatis, guilty of the following transgressions against God. Perversion of God's creation. Promotion of heretical beliefs. Unlawful enslavement of eternal citizens. Torture of the innocent. Murder of the servants of purity. For these most severe crimes, I do sentence Doedri Darktongue to burn at the stake till naught is left but ash. May her life serve as penance for the lives she has taken, and let purity sweep away the dust of her deeds from our firmament. High Templar Vol, Commander of the Army of Purity.
I'm not usually a fan of burning witches at the stake, but Doedri Darktongue was a real monster. I am not gonna defend her whatsoever. Hey man, head down for the weekend of the 16th. It'll be sweet. I know a bunch of people going over. There'll be a big party. That'd be awesome. If I could afford a ticket, I would love to. But alas, I can't, so I shan't. If I had infinite money, I could do whatever I wanted. I don't even have finite money.
A fearsome foe's inner torment spills out into the world.
Alright, I lost the track of the path. There we go. This way. Alright, Alira, where are you? There we go.
I caught some rats in my traps today. They told me an amusing tale. Their rat king, Creighton, dead. Can't say I'm surprised. You've a powerful aura on you, bright as the sunset before a storm. So let me rub an idea against that hot spirit of yours, see if it catches fire. The amulet I wear, sister to the one you took from Creighton, Oak has its triplet. There's power in these trinkets, enchantment enough to keep my tribe safe. Go north, bring me an amulet, and Oak's lying tongue, and I'll make you part of that power. You need friends in Rayclast, and believe me, I can be a fine friend.
Counter proposal. Maybe quit smoking. You're not gonna live long enough to get the benefits anyway. A rat king as in a man who everybody compared to a rat.
Valuable lesson, sister. Never let the power go to your head.
She was talking about Creighton, the bandit lord that I killed over in the east at the Broken Bridge. So I'm taking the path of killing all these. Apparently there are... apparently whatever you do in this, whether you make a deal with one of the bandits or kill them all, there are 4 different paths, and there are 4 different ways Act 7 goes, depending on the paths you took. Apparently only one of them is in the beta right now, but they're going to be adding in the others when they add in Act 8 in like a week or 2, or possibly sooner, depending on how fast they're done. So it'll be interesting to see what they are. And it'll be interesting to see which one they have at the start. Maybe they have the... maybe they just give you the... maybe they just give you... I can't talk today. Maybe they just give you the I killed all of them because it's the most neutral. And that's a passive point from Act 1.
Arteri, my beautiful captain. I wish it were not you, but I cannot bring myself to trust any other with this most vital of tasks. This is the only pass between the inner and outer empire. No further exiles are to enter the inner empire. We have material enough for our work. Ensure that the barricade remains in place, and if any exile should somehow pass through, kill them. I will send for you when my work is complete in San. Until we share our next night together. Piety.
Yeah, I don't think that that was honest compared to... because of how she acts. Like, I think that she was using Arteri like she used pretty much everyone else in Oriath. Piety... we'll learn more about her in Act 3, but Piety was a prostitute in... named Vinia in Oriath, until she caught the eye of Dominus, who is the final boss of Act 3, and kind of a real bastard. She's magically and thaumaturgically talented, and she went from nobody to essentially being this game's answer to Joseph Mengele. She is a real piece of work. And like Doedri, Chevron, and Malagaro, a real monster of human being. Yeah, we're in Spider City. Once this is done, it'll be done with the spiders mostly, except for some incidental encounters in like areas where they've been added as a mob, or catacombs where they come up from the depths. So I'll tell you once we're done with this area, FD, and you can put your arachnophobia to rest for the moment. Hey, Tora! I was looking for you.
Over here, Exile. This land is crawling with vermin. 8-legged, no-legged, and everything in between. Life here has become twisted and hateful, and it's eating Rayclast alive. Unless we do something about it. Unless we clear away this infestation. Nature doesn't stand a chance while it has creatures like that at its throat. You want to make an impression around here?
Hell
I've
yeah.
a certain pack of vermin in mind. A truly twisted and ravenous lot. They range across quite a large territory, so be prepared to cover some ground. Hunt them down wherever they might be, and put an end to them. You know, looking at it more closely, you could do with a helping hand on this foray.
Yeah, no, I've heard that 1,000 times. I love the delivery on I've got a twisted pack of vermin in mind, but I hear it so often that it's lost most of its effect. Torah missions are a bounty of EXP though, so.
What was one is now two.
That was all the rares in this
The
area?
strong find greater strength in numbers.
Alright. I'm gonna walk back to Torah and see. No, I'll pass through it, so if they're back here, I'll just find them. But yeah, most of my interaction with Magic the Gathering these days, I played Magic at my last job at the call center, especially when it was dead, or we were on voluntary time offs. We would get together and we'd play some Magic. I had more resources than basically anyone else in the call center, except for like one guy and one guy in IT and his supervisor wife. They had some awesome resources to them, but everyone else, I spent my time building decks that could interact with them in a fair way. And that was a fun challenge.
Too much clutter.
But it's nice to have a real knockdown drag out once in a while in that game. Alright, Groost. What do we got? That's an up. Oh, that's better. Energy shield, I'll take it. What you got to say about vipers?
Their skin makes good boots. Their spit makes painful death. Travel far.
Greetings. You have done what none of us could.
I haven't killed Oak yet.
Groost. While we are grateful, we dare not sleep with both eyes shut.
Oh, right. He is talking about Alera.
Has gone. In overthrowing a lord and a lady, you have created a despot in Oak.
What troubles you?
Alright, anything else to say?
I'll be you, Exile. The path to the sea is open. You are a legend that lives, Exile.
You help us. Viper eats monkey, monkey eats viper. The forest is hurt, confused. It fights with itself. There is no peace for us in this war.
Alright, I'm going to take a detour back to Act 1 to get that skill point. And listen to, maybe I'll listen to Bestial's terrible poem. I can't stand listening to this character talk. I'm sorry, whoever voices him, but...
A stranger like no other faced the war. There. Thought you deserved one of my finest poems, written to commemorate such a mighty feat. Oh, and this. Been keeping it for a very special occasion. Consider yourself just such an occasion.
Take that, thank you. And let's see. That's still where I want to go. So, yeah. We'll pick up some dexterity and strength along the way. Anything else to say?
Some have dared hope for a better life beyond Prisoner's Gate. Not me. My place is here, easing the suffering of exile as best I can. While we live, we are blessed.
Still alive, are we?
And Tarkley. You found a way to bring down Chevron's barricade. It's at times like these I recall I'm a man of action, not words. Should we encounter each other in the forest, the roast boar's on me, my friend. Awesome. I'll hold you to that. Alright, now back to the spider forest. I did put them on? Yes, okay. Oh, there's one more to kill. Alright. Hey, asshole, where are you? Okay, there's exactly one more to kill. Where is it? It was down this way. Ow. Oh, 22 of 33. I'm blind. Sup, Tora?
You hear that? That's the sound of nature taking its first decent breath in far too long. The more vermin we turn into fertilizer, the more nature can breathe and grow in peace. Come see me when you're next in the forest encampment. I can always use a good color.
Yeah, like it's very obvious that she's reading separate sentences one at a time. Just the way that she breathes in between. It's not particularly natural dialogue delivery, but it's not horrible. Considering the quality of the voice work otherwise, I'm not going to complain all that much. He says, complaining. God, and I can use the minimap in the corner now. Oh, it's so much better. Easy.
What do you want?
Alright, is this better? It is. Oh, and look, I even have... excuse me.
Travel
Let's
far.
recolor these gloves to all blue. To all blue. There we go. Thank you. Need that for narrow escapes.
What? Going?
Gems. Alright, well, let's go murderize Oak, shall we?
What would you like to know? The baleful gem and Maligaro's spike. I'd wager these two grotesqueries were made for each other. A marriage born in darkness. My advice? Send them to their wedding bed. The riverbed.
Alright, Silk.
You killed Mother Eightleg? Old Three-Eye? You must have more than a song for that. When I found my spear in the forest, I found these too. Please, take one.
Alright, what you got for me? Elemental focus, controlled destruction, conk effect, minion speed, and faster I'm going with minion speed, I guess.
Piety would have concurred with Eramir's theory about that northwestern ruin. The Val were a powerful civilization predating even the Eternal Empire, and Piety very much wanted to see what toys the Val might have left for her to play with behind those stone doors. Yet we couldn't budge them, not with that giant of a tree holding them fast in her roots. You now carry a cure to that problem, or rather a useful illness. Use the spike to inject the baleful gem's calibric extantia into the roots. One day soon, Piety will find her way into that ruin. You need to get there first.
This isn't going to end well, by the way.
Keep your life to your own.
Alright, on to Murderize Oak, I guess. See if there's anything new in the wetlands. Poison the ancient tree. Oh, spiders are done, by the way, FD.
Oops, clumsy me.
Closest thing you'll have to deal with are crabs. Any spiders from here on in are incidental parts of the area that I can't predict. But there won't be that many of them. And I won't call your attention to them when there are. Alright, Oak, where the hell are you? They really need to update the Road models. Those do not look like whatever they're supposed to look like. Not thoroughly, anyway. Alright, is it over here? It is not. I'm gonna grab the waypoint in the entrance. And then go Murderize Oak. I still think crab is my favorite Danny moment in the history of Game Grumps. There are some good contenders. Lose a Turn is another one, but that was... I quote that constantly. You wouldn't think it'd be terribly quotable, but I do it anyway. Alright, there's the tree, which you just did horrible things to, and the waypoint. We're gonna kill... His screams in the Lose a Turn video are my favorites he's ever done. Upset animated Danny is something special, let me tell you. Alright, and I'll be able to grab extra strength and dex from there if I need to. Alright, here we go. Here's the bandit camp, which we are directly in the back of. God, it's been like 4 months since he contacted me in game, but it's still incredible to me, and it still makes me giddy that Mark, one of the devs, is a fan of my blog. Like, Holy crap. This is my favorite game. This like, period. This is my favorite video game. It's not even really any competition. This is it. And he's one of the original people who worked on it. He was there from the beginning. And he's a fan.
The half-wit and the horror dead? I never thought I'd see the day. Now I am king. Unquestioned. Unrivaled. A fine feeling indeed.
This is a bad
Not
voice
much
performance.
of a kingdom to speak of, but at least it's a peaceful one. But if peace isn't reward enough for you, give me the amulets that Creighton and Alira wore around their worthless necks. When joined with mine, those trinkets will forge us a new strength, you and I. The strength to continue to do what we must.
Yeah, no. My Righteous Fire character would help you for the life regen. My Sundered Out would probably help you for the life regen and the physical damage, but... No, buddy. Sorry. I want that sweet, sweet passive point. It is incredibly stiff.
This land has no time for avaricious little despots like you, Oak.
It's stiff, and it's slow, and it's very obvious that he's reading off of a script rather than giving a natural performance. That was not good. That guy's been in the game since the very start, though, so I think that's his original voice performance, and they probably didn't hire somebody spectacular. Okay, Aramir.
There's greatness in you. You've proved that without a doubt. And whether you've destroyed the bandits for us or for your own ends, it matters not at all. You've given us back our home and our future. You say the Lords of Larceny wore these around their necks? These artifacts and that ancient gateway,
especially contrasted with this guy,
crafted by the same hands, I'd venture. Val hands. And it appears the brigands' trinkets could form a single whole. Give me a moment with them. I used to be good at this sort of thing. Now, this one seems to fit neatly against here. And this third one, well, it looks like it... I'm so sorry, my friend. Are you well? Yes, you are apparently intact. Remarkable, considering... For the barest moment there, you were something altogether different. I'm not afraid to admit it. A rather unnerving version of yourself. If I were you, I'd dispense with that artifact down the deepest, darkest hole that I could find.
Well, you don't know exactly what you mean, but you're right about how it's going to happen.
That ancient gateway to the northwest. It's a peculiar thing, not of the Eternal Empire. It could be Val in origin, a culture I've seen mentioned here and there in some of the most antique of texts. It is the Val who began the use of virtue gems well before our Imperial ancestors. Little else is known about them. If only I had my old museum archives, I could have given you a more tempered theory.
We need to get you to the Sarn library, Aramir. You would lose your shit.
You've put an end to old Lorata? Twisted of heart and mind were the men who made that gem and that implement of black surgery. And what of the one who chooses to wield their creations? Of course, I wish to know the secrets locked in that tomb, but not at the cost of such a grand old life.
Excuse... Fuck you. Oh my god. You really did wait until I was distracted, huh?
Hello. Lorata is dead. It is not news to me. The forest screams its grief. You need not carry the blame. This was Loratta's will. I do not question why she allowed you to end her days. I keep...
Afraid he'd kick your ass. Alright. You've seen me play literally any game where swords and not swords are an option. Fair enough. Fair enough. As I recall, you preferred the flaming skulls to them. So what do you think, Sean? Oh wait, you have to get to bed relatively early tonight. I was gonna say we could learn XCOM after the stream, or I could rush you through some more Diablo, but I guess you have to get to bed. Probably gonna be streaming for a couple hours yet. God, I can play with the game with the mini-map in the top right. I couldn't before. Like, it was too small and too hard to look at. I don't know whether it's because I've been forced to do that with Diablo, where you can't move around if the mini-map is up in the center, or if this is just so much better. I think it's a mix of both. Oh, hey, Rogue Exile. It's Tor. Thanks for the ring, Tor. Excuse me. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for the % life regen and 40% mana regen, and then I'm going to go for the extra zombies and specters. But, no, actually, it's just the one extra specter, and I already got it. Sean, you haven't smoked a joint in your life. Shut up. Nope, that's a dead end. I am a little disappointed that there's really nothing new in Act 2. I'm kind of surprised by that. I hope we get something really special in Act 3. Well, maybe in like the last 3 areas that I haven't been to yet, there's something new. But like we got some interesting model updates in Act 1. I think there's a little bit of new dialogue in Act 2, but there was a lot of it in Act 1. And I don't know, man. There just doesn't seem to have been a lot added to Act 2. They did seem to shorten a couple of the areas, though, which it makes me so happy. Because Act 2 is honestly my least favorite of the acts in the game. It's drawn out, it's tedious, it reminds me of Act 3 in Diablo 2, both environmentally and just, like, in its sprawling nature. Like, 80% of your trek through Act 3 in Diablo 2 was navigating that fucking spider forest. God, that was a pain in the dick. But it's still more enjoyable than Act 3 in Diablo 2 because there's things to do. It's not just one long straight shot through the act. There's a bunch of different orders you can tackle it in. And a lot of different things to do. There's a good variety of enemies. There's not as good a variety as others. Maybe I just also... I think I also don't find the variety of enemies in this act all that engaging or interesting. Act 1 had the sirens and some other strange beasts and ghosts and the weird hellion creatures. And this act has snakes and monkeys and skeletons. And bears. And I like the bears. They're my favorite specters, but... I don't know, man. Act 2 has always been the most lackluster of the acts for me, but who knows if Act 7 will completely change my mind on the area. I guess there's also spiders. Oh boy. I don't remember there ever being whispering in the background here. Maybe I was never listening closely enough.
How fascinating.
Really shouldn't have done that. One of the more interesting changes to the game happened in 2.0. Oak was on the other side of that seal. You physically have to pass through that to get through this area. Now, people could say they went over the mountain, but then so could have you gone over the mountain. But so it was weird that Oak was bothering the forest encampment when he was on the far side of an impassable labyrinth. Yeah, I just unsealed evil to cross a bridge. Not my finest move. But to be fair, not all that predictable a result of shoving one more ancient ruined ball off of a ledge. Yeah, I'm definitely going after the life regen. Alright, the Devourers didn't get an update either. Blame it more on whoever the architect for that place was, clearly didn't think that one through. There's probably other broken ways across, and that was suspended over a pit for some reason or another. But yeah, it was not the best decision they've ever made. Have a nice night, FD, and have a safe drive.
You disappear into that Val ruin, and now the sky, the light, the very land limps as a leper. Somehow, whether through deliberate act or accident, you've caused this. Now we all suffer your consequences. Different good, different bad. We now know upon which side the coin has fallen.
Nothing like this happens until you are here. Bring back the light, or you will find my spear in your throat.
They had originally planned for Groost to refuse to trade with you until you fix this, but they decided it obstructed the game flow too much since most people talk to him instead of Yina. I gotta fix my mouse. Alright, let's see what they have to say.
What has happened? Did the world not rise from its sleep? How do we wake it up? Please, what should we do?
You sit tight. I'm gonna go get my murder on.
There's one bright spot in this darkness you've released. At least it was you who did it, and you can undo it, I know it. Had it been piety, we'd likely never see the sun again. Journey...
I dreamed this. A vast creature. A thing of shadow. I saw it escape from a black prison and climb a man-crafted mountain, drifting up its four sheer sides like the mist that reaches for the clouds. It gathered at the peak of that mountain and ate the heart from the sun. You smell of that black mist and something else. Guilt. That is it, yes. Guilt is a strong illness. It gnaws at the spirit until there is nothing left, until you are one of the walking corpses. You want a cure? Find the man-crafted mountain, send the shadow home, and tell the monster to take your guilt with it.
Way more effective than anybody else's guilt trip in this town.
For all of her strange ways, I've learned not to discount Yina's more vivid dreams. She's in tune with this land in ways I find difficult to comprehend. As to this man-crafted mountain she describes, I have seen only one structure of its like. Stumbled across sketches in the Theopolis archives, a piece of Val engineering, pyramidal in architecture. According to those documents, the pyramid lies north of the Frisian forest, buried beneath the mantle upon which San rests. I have no idea whether it still exists, or ever existed for that matter. Still, considering the current circumstances, there isn't much to lose in the search, is there?
Certainly not.
Speak.
Alright, anything else these guys have to say before I move on?
Live big.
Oh, Helena does.
A man-crafted mountain of 4 sheer sides. That's a pyramid. Val architecture. I've covered a lot of the countryside with piety and seen nothing like that. Still, history is in the habit of burying its dead. Perhaps you could try looking down instead of up. Till next time,
well, let's go then.
Savior.
Why do I suddenly only have 3 zombies again? Oh, I can deal with the spiders freely now that FT's gone. Oh, Stormbearer's lovely. Alright, let's back off from that situation. Please and thank you. I would rather you didn't. It's not actually dangerous to me at this point in the game, but still, best to be careful. Yeah, let's just burn through this area. Oh, wait, that's the Dread Thicket. Never mind, I don't need to go here. You know what? Never mind. Let's see if there's something in the Dread Thicket now, because there wasn't before. Nothing worthwhile here normally. Let's see what it has for us in 3.0. If this is just a side area with a boss in it, still, I'm going to be incredibly disappointed. It's one of the only outright useless areas of the game. And it's not that it's not good flavor, but there's nothing here to attract a player on a normal playthrough. Well, on a subsequent playthrough. You come in here, you see that there's nothing to do except a side boss that isn't all that interesting. It's just a couple of tiny monkeys. And then you leave and you never come back in here because there's nothing to do here. If they've got some kind of quest or some kind of reward you can get or some kind of guaranteed special thing. Oh, it's a camp now. Aid in the Frenzy. And Nadia the Soothing. It's an overrun camp. So it's just flavor still. Alright. Well, that was a waste of time. Oh, I guess there's something down here. Let's push the area boundaries a little then. For all its problems, Diablo 3 has little mini missions and random side story tidbits in every single area. Like, there's things to do everywhere. The Dread Thicket just has nothing. Yes, let's move on. There we go. To the caverns. Last couple areas before the end of the act. Oh man, with the new fog effects and the new water, oh, it looks so good. My favorite specters. Why don't I have specters yet? Why did you up the minimum level requirement from like 18 to 28? Specters would be so cool at this point. I'd love to have some scurry bursts floating around. I'm level 24 and I still don't have any life regen. That also feels kind of weird. Did I just say fuse? That also feels kind of weird. Alright, well. Increased crit damage, increased crit strikes. I think the game's trying to tell me something. Fuck off, Devourer. I will say, the way they look in the shadows is really neat. There we go. Ascend the ancient pyramid. Approach to the final boss of the act. Who at one point was the final boss of the game. During the beta, the game ended with the end of Act 2. No Dominus, no Piety. Just the Vol over Soul and on to the next difficulty. They also didn't have the map system at the start. It was just the Maelstrom of Chaos, which was an endless ledge type thing. I didn't play much in those days. Alright, let's use that skill point. Alright, give me the way up. You know, they've probably added something to the Dread Thicket in Act 7 that makes it incredibly vital, just to mess with us. Nope, that's a dead end. There we go. The ancient pyramid. And from here, it's a simple matter of checking the corners. Mostly. Sometimes it's in the middle, but not usually. When you're done, get right up in its face and do it yourself. Oh god, there are so many necromancers right here. Fuck off! Stuff I kill stays dead. That looks cool. Is it just a hole? Yeah, it's just a hole. Oh, there's the way forward, though. By forward, I mean up. Oh, hey, Haku. Let's get you to level 3 and get a hideout, shall we? Oh, and this one's got a time limit. All right. Yeah, I'm really glad that they lowered the difficulty of these things. Haku missions used to be one of the scariest things in a character this squishy. I would just straight up skip them whenever I saw them. They're still usually not really worth doing. The enemies you kill, the experience you gain, and the loot you get from it is not really worth the effort once you're at max level with him. But they're not the terrifying risk that they were before. Alright, let's just get rid of this asshole before his totems completely go out of hand. Bam. Oh, come on. Fuck off. Fuck off. Okay. Getting that. Thank you. There we go. It's nice to be playing a game with item weight again, where what you pick up matters.
As you honor the ancestor, Kalm came to this land seeking to plant the seed of the Karui way in fresh and fertile soils. His kingdom withered and died many years ago. Perhaps it is time that a new kingdom was sown in its stead. Meet me in town, warrior. We have new horizons to discuss.
Gladly. And now I have a hideout. I'm also going to teleport home and empty my inventory.
Hello. A circle.
Path? You okay? Okay. Good. Give me a second to bring the Twitch chat back up. The computer came unplugged. So, popping out the chat again. And we will continue from where I left off. All right. Huh. My progress should still be there. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay. Oh, wow. None of my icons are loaded. That's unusual. I can move that, because that is an up.
What? Exiles.
Shut up, Christ. Alright. Please let the instance still be up. Damn it. Okay, maybe I just was away from here for long enough that the instance died. Well, take 2. Trying to ascend the pyramid. Kill these magic monsters. Oh, it's good to be back in a game that is fun to play. Feels like you're accomplishing things. I'm gonna push the Diablo 3 endgame, but it's good to be playing a game that actually feels like you're doing something in it. The offering. I remember adding a the offering. Path of the Swords. Oh, I'm sorry, whoever you are. I completely don't recognize your username. I'm sure I friended you for something, probably buying something. Probably had a couple cool interactions at one point months ago that I've completely forgotten about because I have the short-term memory of a dead goldfish.
Exile.
I will take the Torah mission, though. Something tells me there's not supposed to be hatch marks on this part of the map. Bam. Oh, I'm down a zombie.
I do believe you and I are beginning to...
Oh, I should have listened to her spiel for the... whatever. For the video. Nope, not that. Let me out. Where the hell is the way forward? Ah, here we go. Awesome. Alright, please be open, please. God damn it. Well, I didn't lose that much progress. Kept my levels and stuff too, so nothing to really complain about. This game does sync up. The way forward is that way. Shut up. Shut up, Sean. You are the least helpful. Also, just so nobody has any illusions, he's here in the room with me and he's communicating via chat. Almost there. Oh, and almost to some skill effect duration nodes, too. That'll be a nice change. Make things actually last for something. Now that I don't need them anymore, the only flasks that are dropping are mana flasks. Learn how to say flasks, Lore. Flex on them? I mean, what do you think my zombies are doing? Is it just me, or is the totem planting distance slightly smaller now? That's going to be annoying to edit with the YouTube video. Usually I'm able to just upload the raw streams, but I have to do something special with that one. Come on, kill the totem, please. Thank you. Now kill the necromancer so we can actually get on with our lives. And the way up. Top floor. I'm dead to the roof. Man, there are so many goddamn totems up here. Alright, so it's not that way. I keep forgetting that I see the way forward way sooner now than I did before. Let's just pass all these assholes by. Alright. Let's get our murder on. I've had the music in this game turned down for so long, and I completely forgot that there's an awesome track for this fight. Stay the hell out of the way of that. Oh no. Okay. Almost got him. Okay. Get fucked. And the pyramid rises.
A pity. I think we could have been friends.
Now, before moving on, I'm actually going to go back to town and finish all the Act 2 dialogue stuff. And decide whether I want to stream Act 3 tonight or another day. It is getting a little late, and it took me a couple hours to finish this one.
You have made peace with our land. For now, my spear is lowered.
Oh god, that's much better. I need red-green though, so we'll see what we get. Int life, extra energy shield, and a 4-link. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. Need red-green. Need red-green. Put the zombie there. Put the SRS there. Alright, let's mess with the shield a little. Perfect. Red-green. Oh, I'm out of feck. Shit. Red green. Fusion. Alright. Spell totem. Animate weapon. Minion speed. New boots. And Arctic armor over there.
What troubles you bring now? Return, if you must.
Alright.
Humanity has one redeeming trait. We learn from our mistakes. You certainly gave us a scare for a bit there, but the damage doesn't seem to have been lasting. Thank you for doing the right thing.
I mean, against my defense, it was still in my way.
Silk does not run from such things. I stand, I guard when others shiver and shake.
Yeah, sure, buddy. Keep telling yourself that.
Thank you for returning our reality to us. I think we've all had a glimpse of what could happen if Piety tries to harness the power of the Vaal for her own ends. Journey...
I am not surprised. I saw you, in my slumber, drive the darkness away. I am sorry that I did not tell you before. What I see is only what might happen, and I did not want to fill you with more confidence than would have been good for you.
Fair. Alright, so this has been Act 2. I think I am actually going to call the stream here. Nobody's going to be here over at E3 anyway. So I will be streaming Act 3 another time, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for coming by.